How did you come up with this plan and what is it like?
I would love to say, and wouldn't it be nice to hear that I, very strategically plotted and planned first becoming a lawyer and, then becoming a journalist just for the legal sector so that I exactly know what campaigns to launch.
What would be these infinite solutions that you would like to offer to the clients?
Could be as simple as instead of writing a boring, lengthy worded email or too short an email, just how you design your email. So, what are the colors and shapes and interactive buttons, etc., that you use on your email to show that.
Good morning, everyone. And today we have Prachi Srivastava from Law Infinity. Prachi, it is great to have you with us. And, we have been following the work that you've been doing with Law Infinity since, I think, a while now. We're very excited to have you with us today. And to begin with, we'd love to hear a little bit about Law Infinity. If you could give us a, starting off a brief about your company, and then maybe we can deep dive into your journey with Law Infinity and how you have, built it through time.
Sure. Thanks, Tanika. Thanks, Tanika and Ganga, for having me today with you. I also loved, hearing some of the other journeys that you covered, and I'm so pleased that I'm here to share mine today. So to start with, there's one mistake that you made a couple of times, which also, rest assured, a lot of other people make, which is our name, which is Lawfinity Solutions. But the intention is like infinity, because Lawfinity Solutions is supposed to come up with infinite solutions for law practices in the area that we serve them. We are trying to get lawyers as much visibility as fast as possible before their market. But we are barred by, legally barred by the Bar Council of India and the Code of Ethics against certain things, which usually work for this sort of an editor in all other sectors in India.
Yeah.
So we can't do advertisements, we can't appear to be soliciting work, lots of other related things.
Yeah.
That's why, so what we do is we bring organic visibility to lawyers, organic visibility campaigns for them, so that they and their market can connect. Whoever that they can serve best with their legal expertise. These two people, these sites can connect as fast as possible and as comprehensively as possible. And given this is a challenge because we don't have all of those usual tools available to so many others, we do have to constantly innovate and infinitely innovate, which is why it is Law Infinity in spirit, with infinity solutions.
Okay. So, but Prachi, like you were saying, it ventures into a field where you're bridging the gap between a lawyer and the legal expertise, considering the constraints that you work under as well, right? So, how did you come up with this plan, and what is it like? And we've seen your past journey. You were working as a journalist to coming up with such a different idea, which is also very so to say, innovative in its own way, because nobody really thinks of it considering the constraints that it has, right? So how did you come up with in the legal sector, after so many years of practicing, and, how did you envision this entire solution, so to say, for the legal market?
So, I would love to say, and wouldn't it be nice to hear that I, very strategically plotted and planned first becoming a lawyer and, then becoming a journalist just for the legal sector so that I exactly know what campaigns to launch, and then I, would come in. And that's how I'm supposed to work in my current role now for my clients, that we have to backtrack everything and be like, hey, I planned 5 steps ahead, and that's how I landed. But in this case, it was a serendipitous journey where I initially wanted to be a journalist, but I ended up doing law. But after doing law, I ended up being a journalist. And thankfully, there was a leader in this field in terms of, only reporting on the trade movements of this sector, which was something very, very different this guy was doing with Legally India. And, being a pioneer here. And so I got to join them and, basically use both law and my passion for journalism and writing to learn about a whole new world. Like, I could have
Yeah.
never made those sorts of the sorts of relationships that I made this young into the legal field,
Mhm.
and the sorts of things that I got to know on the behind the scenes of how this business is made in those
Yeah.
7 years. I could have never imagined having, got to know that in practice, while in practice, the profession
Yeah.
was. But yes,
Mm.
like after 7 years of doing that, and I loved my tenure there, I also, got to write full pages for Mint, which was again like another level of high. But
Yeah.
I did start thinking that what's next? And by that time, for the first time, social media had started picking up for this sector
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very faintly. This I'm
Mm.
talking back in 2018 or so. Very faintly, they were realizing the need that, hey, we also have to integrate ourselves into the online
Exactly.
visibility fabric. Everyone else is doing it. And apart from that, lawyers, of course, always used to write a lot for the
Sure.
mainstream business papers, a couple of law firms. So half of my relationships were telling me, hey, do it for us only at this new beast we don't know, but we know you. So instead of going to
Yeah.
someone we don't know, why don't you just pick it up, handle it, do it lightly? The
Yeah.
other suggested, the next step for you is communications, given
Yeah.
your
True.
journalism background. So why don't you go for the corp comms team of law firms?
True. Yeah.
And so I, again, like due to the prior relationships, I easily got interviews scheduled within the next month with all of the top, 7 tier
Mm.
one firms. And I interviewed with all of them. They were very kind and warm to, again, explain what they were looking out for, what was the target.
Yeah.
And not one's plan matched with the other. Like all of them were on different tracks.
Different. Yeah.
And so that got me thinking that if this is the case in the creamiest top layer of the legal
You know.
profession and the vast, terrain below this, I don't know what is the possibility for innovating there. Like it could be endless. And
True.
by nature, I'm a novelty seeker instead of a stability seeker because I could have just gone there, settled in a high-paying law firm job, done that. I could have still got my, fair share of satisfying creativity, but made stable money and everything. But I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, what else is out there? How many times can we reinvent this? How much can we innovate on driving campaigns for law firms? Let's
Yeah.
freelance." So that's what I did initially. Lawfinity was just a freelancing solopreneurship. There was no team. There was no what you see now, that 360 degree of services.
Yeah.
That time if someone was bringing me social media, I was doing that. If someone asking me to write, I was doing that. For some people, I was approaching them and telling them, you should do it this way. There would be individual partners coming from large law firms who had not adopted, organized practice development at all. But the partners were
Yeah.
young and aware. They were like, just because the firm is not adopting it, I can't stay stuck in my journey. I have to do something. I was on call with them for everything, just
Yeah.
because together, collaborating on this new beast.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's what happened, and eventually, I think the benefit of just flinging myself into the wild there was I got to know, limitless kinds of problems and perspectives, which
Of course.
actually shape the current, 360-degree suite of services that we have. Because
Yeah.
otherwise,
Yeah.
I was not the first one, honestly, to
Yeah.
venture into this field. There is a lady who has sort of pioneered this field, but I didn't think
Yeah.
until that time anyone was doing, just pure organic visibility campaigns full force for the sector. Like it was a mix
Yeah.
of someone would focus on hiring, someone would focus on how management structures can be changed for the firm,
Yeah.
someone would focus on events or so and so, but no one had this. Is there someone who's considering just every aspect of organic visibility and how to make that a beast for the sector?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that wasn't there because the problem is just very, very sticky. There have been some, results which can be called standardized. Results are
Yeah.
there. They're a mix of various things. Ogila are employing all sorts of tactics because they can. They have that purse. They have a lot of relationships that have stuck with them. So it's a
True.
mix of that. But just pure success of organic visibility in terms of metrics
Mm.
was not tested in its success in this sector.
Okay.
Like how in others it can be tested that, okay, if you run ads, this is the CPA that is coming in.
Yeah.
If you these are how many unique visitors have visited the website and purchased and so on and so
Yeah.
forth. These things give you clear metrics, and here it wasn't, and everyone was massively confused
Yeah.
and seeking and itching for solutions. And so, just that freelance journey is just really deep diving with each of those lawyers and their problems gave us the fodder to develop our current suit.
Prajim, I mean, that is extremely inspiring considering I'm also a lawyer who comes from a law background and I'm not practicing. I am not doing any something on those lines at all. So I also diverted from that background and give 5 years to law, right? And then when you divert from something like that, I just want to ask on a personal level, didn't you feel like, what am I doing? I studied for 5 years and you give so much to law to come up with another creative solution. Like you ventured into a creative solution because law is not creative in its system. It is still binding by the books. You have to adhere to the law. You have to read between the lines. So it's not creative. Whereas what you are doing right now, it's extremely problem solving, creative solutions. Right. So didn't you, while you were venturing out into and, you're venturing out into this field, even while Lawfinity solutions, you were finding it out. Did you feel like, what, like a sense of doubt, why am I doing this? Like, because I know personally, I felt that for a while. But then I also realized that I'm also that person who wants to be in a place like this. Like, I don't want to read the book, sit with the book and study. It was fun while I did it with the law school and gave me a nudge over the other people. I learned from law. But I think I'm also one to, had to settle my mind down after a while.
Yeah.
So how was that experience for you?
Well, I completely understand what you're saying. I understand it. I haven't felt it. See, I understand it because I've had these conversations with a lot of people who come into our team as well as
Yeah.
juniors, as associates, because we specifically build a team only of lawyers who are interested in marketing. So we don't get mainstream marketers, MBA people. We feel like the sector can be served on this aspect only by people who are from within the sector
Who
because they
understood the law.
understand some specific things. But that said, yes, the problem that you talked about, I have repeatedly had discussions with team members who have had these doubts, whose parents have had
Yeah.
exercised influence on them.
Yeah.
That how can you, what about your legal education and this and that? And
Yeah.
I've had that. For me, no, that didn't work because see, I am built in that way where I sacrifice a lot of stability and logic in the pursuit of novelty until like I find that my maximum potential is served. So while I
Okay.
loved law, and I'm telling you I loved law because I was constantly mooting during law school. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's not just about passing the exams. I was like putting that
Yeah.
pressure on my head while dissertation was happening, while exams were happening, whatever else was happening in my
Yeah.
life, to stay up those
Yeah.
nights and also do moots.
Yeah.
So I love that argument back, and I feel like I still approach all my drafting and my opinion, giving opinions even in marketing
Opinion.
from as a lawyer, where we weigh both
Freedom, yeah.
sides, build an argument. And that's what I was telling
Yeah.
my team. I think you relate with it instantly. That
Wow.
sticks in you. So it's a
Yeah.
wonderful, but the way I was working in it, I didn't feel like I had a vague idea. It has something to do with my aptitude, and I can do
Yeah.
okay. And it's like I can, work in a way that can satisfy my seniors. No one would be asking why is this or that not done or
Yeah.
something. But that is not serving my highest potential,
Yeah.
and I'm never able to stop until something is serving my highest potential. So then I said,
Yeah.
what next? So I said,
Yeah.
okay, I have always loved to write. Like even now, Lawfinity, I mean, the content part, content creation part for our clients, I directly, I'm very deeply involved in it, even though I have to, do all sorts of administration and other work. But content was always it. And I didn't understand journalism fully at that time because I didn't have a formal qualification in journalism. I learned all of it with my editor, Kianga. But then I thought, sure, I'm a good writer. I can do journalism well. And I'm getting good in legal journalism. Perfect.
Yeah.
Like I'll meld those two. And then I realized that okay, I do journalism a little better than how I execute on the legal side, but that is also not the full potential of what I can do. But right now I'm staying.
No, that's wonderful. And I think I can definitely relate to this entire journey much more. And I'm sure there must be so many other people Because, when I was also leaving law and venturing into marketing and BD and sales, everybody just asked me, why are you doing this to yourself? And I was like, no, I
Yeah.
think I'm meant for something much more. I want
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
venture out. And when I actually gave my first interview, I think 3-4 years ago, I think my interview asked me, you're a lawyer, why do you want to do sales or BD? And I was just like,
Mm.
no, but I learned so
Yeah.
much from law, because even at the end of the day, you're convincing a judge. Here, I can easily convince a client. I think it gives me a upper hand on anybody else. So that's when I also
Yeah.
realized that law also gave me that. Moot courts also, you were actually the judge panel, you were actually selling your case. Here, you're just selling a
Mm.
product or maybe something else. And
Yeah.
especially with Law Affinity Solutions, you're actually working on the credibility of a lawyer and you're making them into something, right?
Yeah.
You're basically wrapping them up in a gift package and be like, here it is. You have to sell their expertise while they can't do it themselves. You have to do
Yeah.
it for them. So, this shift also in the industry we've seen in the recent past. How have you witnessed this since you've been working for 7 years in this industry? What are your thoughts on the evolution that has come about in the legal industry and your
Oh,
observations?
world of evolution. Okay, so my editor has since moved to where he was from, which is
Yeah.
Germany. But he was
Yeah.
visiting last 2 months. This is a very good question because we were just walking through, oh God, the number of things that have changed in
Yeah.
terms of culture of visibility. Okay, so
Yeah.
when he started, no one wanted to speak to him because they were like, why are they looking into the insides of my law practice? No one has ever asked me that.
Yeah.
Lawyers, like they enjoy a leverage. They are on a pedestal. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'll give you advice. Don't ask me more. And so he
Yeah.
started asking that. By the time I came in, he started in 2009. I came in 2012. By the time I
Okay.
came in, slightly, he had some friends who would help him to open up the others, but still, like 90% of the market was like, go away. What do you want to do? Why are
Yeah.
you asking these questions? As
Yeah.
opposed to now, I mean, what is this oversharing happening? I could have never imagined like the kind of things
Yeah.
that they share. There's a humans of, whatever organization page for various law firms where down to which is very good actually. I mean, so down to all of the support stuff details are shared. They're adding emotional perspectives into it in addition to showcasing their knowledge and network and this and that. But at that time, you couldn't even touch, hey, has your partner moved from this firm to that firm? Everyone said, told Siran, go away. What are you doing? 2012. Some people, some supporters were there. They used to help us that, hey, this or that is happening in the other firms. Then we used to go to them. I joined. They used to still close doors. Then they started opening more. 2015, this article happened. People were like, you're disrespectful. Just go away. And now, I mean, we will do whatever they have to, if, to get themselves placed in the correct field. If, that will get them a conversation with who they want a conversation with. But yes, I mean, the reservations remain. Like, not everyone is comfortable doing everything. So some of my clients would say that I'm not comfortable. So, I mean, in short, it has turned 360 degree. Like, when I was talking about all these things with my editor, his eyes were just widening up that, oh God, I mean, do people really are
I
able to,
can.
that same guy spoke about.
Yeah.
But I think now the pressure is really up. People know that if they won't speak, then regardless of how well they execute, they will be left
Yeah.
behind. Because even,
Of course.
see, I'm also a good fulfillment and brilliant execution. But the principle of marketing is that even a substandard product can sell a lot
Of
if it
course.
is made visible to that
Of
extent
course.
versus a
Of course.
brilliant product which very few and probably a very niche elite circle knows about. That might
Yeah.
help you with respect and everything
Hmm.
and being seen as a professional, but that won't help you with selling.
Definitely, definitely. I believe the marketing is such a strong tool that exists in today's, world. I almost always talk about this that, marketing is like it plays with your psychology at today's time. You see something and you keep seeing it. It's right there in your eyes. You will, I mean, that is nothing, it cannot attract you to it. You have to put yourself. And I think nowadays, marketing is not just limited to a product, but to a person. If you see on LinkedIn these days, I mean, everybody is marketing themselves. It's all about marketing yourself. I think LinkedIn or even influencers on social media are technically marketing themselves through what they're doing,
Yeah.
right? So it's the game of marketing, and any marketer like yourself now understands it. But the remaining people just think ये तो बस हो रहा है. But they don't understand there's a lot of methodology to this madness also, right? So Prachi, what is like a
Yeah.
day at Lawfinity like also? Because it might be very chaotic some days, it might be very systematic and organized. So what is like yours and your team's day like?
I think you should ask my team. They would have definitely, completely different temperatures on this because they are the ones who are constantly, stressed about the heat is on them. So it's not chaotic at all. I
Yeah.
think what you said a very important point that the psychology behind marketing has to be so strong that while everything is happening in a very structured way behind the scenes, but there should exist someone who is
Yeah.
relevant to you, who you're facing,
Yeah.
who has no idea that this is
No.
happening. For whom,
No.
that Khan, the news with the influencers broke, it should be
Yeah.
a surprise, that
Yeah.
this happened.
Yeah.
So to make that happen, you cannot you cannot compromise on the highest level of organization.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because on the surface of it, it might like to our clients, we might say that we'll serve you through 5 doors of website, LinkedIn, your news media PR, your email funnels, your
Yeah.
offline networking, those 5 doors.
No.
But every cog of the chain that goes into those 5 doors, it is so detailed. Our Kanban
Yeah.
boards are updated constantly by one team member sits just to do that through the day.
Yeah.
Because that intricate machinery, if something slips or the other, then you cannot achieve the desired.
Of course.
So
Of course.
chaos is not even the C is not there in our organization. It can't be. The team is pulled up on it, like pulled up more on slipping on systems than on the actual quality of work as well. Because
Yeah.
systems first, because it's an intricate machinery. But yes, the heat, the pressure definitely is there. Like I said, we are facing that challenge of there's not enough proven results, like, and not by us, but just in this industry. In the services that clients are approaching us for, just proven result that this is a completely validated machine. You do this, it works. Like how, consultants and coaches and other sectors tell them that, hey, 5 weeks, I will give you a machine. These are the guaranteed results. You take your money back.
No.
We have
No.
still started giving it to them on parts of the service, but the whole
Mhm.
thing is still a gamble. Even though we have
Yeah.
validated our own system
Then
and are repeatedly using that, but I mean, for it to be validated on a scale where the market feels comfortable, that you go and do this, this will 90%. This is what will result from that initiative. That hasn't happened thousands of times. So the typical day and Lawfinity, I mean, we are really dealing with the battle of, and so when results lack, budgets are very tight. So which means that time pressures are amusing. I mean, you should again, like my team, hats off to them. I pray for them every day. They're good people that they're still, keeping up with those sorts of time pressures. Because
Yeah.
with those time pressures, again, we can't compromise on the quality because our campaign has to hit the center of the dartboard. So we, while competing against time, we are also going into the details on the quality on everything. I, despite being the head of this organization, I'm getting into the edits of all of the work done by in turn a competing team. Like they're a competing team, so it's not like my edits were not done, their work would not pass. But just because of the level of uncertainty that we are facing in this sector, the detailing has to be done to that extent. Uh, which is why, I mean, they do all of that. A lot of things go through my approval. There's a lot of most everything goes through my edits and all of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a very engaged sort of a deep day but then I do have to manage administration. We do have to market ourselves. This, fabulous team does deserve more clients. So
Yeah.
that also has to be done. But it's an intense day. The good thing is
Well,
that my team right now is sort of the team where it feels more like collaboration with them. than me
Correct.
just handing down instructions, because they are like good people in terms of their work product.
Yeah, yeah. And I believe a team is what makes, the manager at the end of the day. And it's through them that we also practice. Now, Prachi, you said a very important thing that, this industry is still accepting this practice, because there's no definition of a result. So, how do you feel that practice development, serves a very important part of the sector that now people have also started acknowledging and accepting? So, what do you think is the key here for practice development as as a separate entity from, say, a lawyer and a law firm?
Look, it fits a particular part in the value chain, of course, which is that as a legal practice head, whether you have ventured out of an organization or whether you're still in an organization, a legal practices head within an organization are entrepreneurs, basically. It's their own practice.
Yeah,
It's like a small business in the
yeah,
organization. But they
right.
still have some benefits of the organizational structure, infrastructure, previous brand, everything. But they are also competing with other businesses in that organization because there are other
Yeah,
partners. So
yeah,
all of that is there. But for someone who has completely ventured out, they,
yeah,
like me, are giving a lot of their years where they could have enjoyed stability and a lot of money for doing just one job, with a
yeah.
lot of money sacrificed for doing double the job. Like
Right.
now, they're good at execution. That is hence proved, and that is why they have ventured out on their own. They got their confidence from being good at execution. But now the game is not just about execution. They're doing administration, they're learning marketing, they're learning HR on the job while they're executing and taking out time for all of that. Likely losing on a lot of family time. Even without that, lawyers lose on a lot of family time. Their jobs are strenuous across the world. But in this case, they're likely going mad and not even,
But
reaping enough money for it in the initial years.
so,
So there's the opportunity cost, after which, you cannot take organized practice development casually, because you have to recover
yeah,
that cost. You have to recover the
yeah,
pain in those years.
yeah.
And you cannot recover it without exponentiating your profits. And there is no way to exponentiate your profit through just, doing fabulous work and getting referred, because the referral network is a limited pipeline that will dry up sooner or later. These days, sooner for everyone. Because the others are doing organized PD, organized
Yeah.
visibility and everything.
Visibility. Right.
So, so that's where it fits into the value chain. You need to be organized about how you are going to grow this thing. Also, with years, while you're developing all of this, your energy is dwindling, right? Like you are getting older. While you're gaining more experience, you're getting older. So it's high time that the work of your initial product starts yielding its investment now. So for which you need calculations, of course. Visibility, marketing, sales works a lot more on emotion than logic. But even to
Yeah.
tap those emotions is a very organized exercise. You can't just eyeball it that these colors should work for my website. This shape should be there in my logo. I think, roughly think that this is my competitor's market positioning. Just roughly eyeballing everything would lead you to an eyeballed result.
True.
So
True.
even
True.
though there are not very, very established results existing in
Um.
this, but people have been getting somewhere with doing all of these tactics. So unless you have your own system where you
Yes.
have to organize PD, there are no two ways about it. Either you do
Yeah.
it on your own, you have your own system.
Yeah.
But I think, most lawyers are good at their job, which is lawyering.
Yeah.
So then,
Yeah.
again, like trying to do everything and then saving those huge margins. So there's some math in the fact that the most efficient consulting business, and legal law firm and legal practice actually consulting business. So the most efficient consulting and advisory businesses where the business makes like a 30 to 40% profit. You shouldn't, yeah, and then it is able to scale. So it makes a 30 to 40% profit, means a lot of very competent individuals who know their area of work very well are involved
Yeah.
in running and scaling it, and you stick to what you know best.
Yeah.
Don't try to
Yeah.
fit all that. Once you can
Yeah.
afford it, of course.
Of course.
Initially, you have to, once you venture out, but as soon as possible, try to get out of those, even at the cost of burning some of your coffers because and lowering your margins because you have to scale,
Yeah,
right?
of
So
course.
it's better to trust someone like out of all of these imperfect systems, go for something that is still more perfect than your internal system, right? And do that. And rationalize it for the opportunity before you. So, when a marketer is able to show you what they'll do for you in terms of organic campaigns and link it to the actual market opportunity before, meaning tangible results, meaning this
Yeah,
would be the tangible addition in your revenue. If
yeah,
that is something that, based on the proof that they have built and you feel like it is possible to do, then you should go for
true.
at least 10% of your this thing, practice revenue to be put into practice development.
Understood. Understood. And Prachi, like we've spoken about marketing also, with digital marketing coming up and AI tools coming up for marketing also. What do you feel that the legal industry has now adopted? Like, what are the trends that the legal industry have adopted? Because if you see, there's so many trends nowadays with different marketing strategies. So, what are these
Hmm.
strategies that the legal industry is now open to and can actually work in, considering the constraints as well that it does work under?
Okay. That's interesting. I mean, they're all appreciating the importance of AI. I don't exactly see any significant adoption of AI per se. The 2 or 3 people who end up adopting AI end up in the mainline, business news. So you might have read the piece on how Ketan developed an AI-powered BD tool, Ketan and Company, and then the Sixth Commercial Mangadas and Nishit Desai Associates weighed into it. So if there are those few that as soon as they adopt, they make national news, the state of
Yeah,
adoption in
yeah,
the sector.
yeah.
But what leadership is definitely a area where AI has huge potential, and I don't mean your website blogs and whatever your pieces to publish on ChatGPT and give it, because I think that those can be
Yeah,
found out in 2 minutes.
in two
But
minutes.
see, SEO, search engine optimization, something that law firms should definitely consider competing on. Because what is better than sitting back in your website and query form landing your cases,
Yeah,
right?
cases. Yeah,
That can happen through Google rankings and Google visibility of law firm
true,
website. And for
true.
that, you need to get into the game of competing on SEO.
Yeah,
Uh, now that now when you have to compete on SEO, the kind of volumes of writing that you need on your website are not
website.
ordinary and
Yeah,
cannot go with lawyers' working schedules. And actually,
yeah,
also do not go with the the search for perfection that lawyers seek perfection in the thought leadership that they put up. Uh, I was recently chatting with someone who was considering becoming a client, and he said that, and so I told him that this is how, this is the volume that you need if you're just considering thought leadership. And he said, then how will you ensure the quality in that? Okay, may not be of the highest quality that the managing partner feels like is authentic to him, but is still
and
better quality and more authentic and slightly different from the hundreds of other corporate law firms, putting stuff out on the same updates. Uh, can be attained on the basis of frameworks, on the structuring of the pieces, because these pieces have the purpose of nailing the emotions of the reader, because these pieces are meant to make a sale. And when associates are given frameworks about, this part of your job or that part of your job, or for instance, if you are dealing with the FIU licenses for a cryptocurrency company,
yeah, yeah,
and what if someone doesn't get that license on time? Or
yeah,
that you are dealing with these 4 or 5 impacts legally in terms
yeah,
of not getting the correct service of these licenses,
yeah,
then
true.
what are the emotions that you can arise in the company that is not taking these licenses with respect to various categories of impacts?
True.
that those sorts of frameworks can be given to your assistant. They can make stuff that is unique from the other stuff that is being said about the same FIU licenses, because
Yeah.
it is closer to what role your law practice serves in the value chain.
In the
So you
value
have to
chain. Yeah.
differentiate yourself in the value chain. Not everyone is in the same point, sitting point on the value chain. And
Yeah.
there are several AI writing softwares that can actually expedite the process. So, for instance, for our team and for our clients, I am the one who designs these frameworks. But if someone cannot afford, those that level of marketing advisory, or it doesn't even work with us, can actually, take some of the basic frameworks that are there on our pages, put it into those AI writing softwares, and can get unique frameworks for themselves.
Yeah.
So yes, so thought leadership is definitely one area. I mean, there are a lot of areas practice development wise. I speak more about organic visibility, but practice development means help in billing, practice, better billing systems. Lawyers have to follow up on a lot of invoices. A lot of invoices get dropped. They need help on knowledge management systems. They need help on draft templatizations. Uh, I mean, the scope is endless, but the adoption has to start now.
Okay. And which it definitely has, like we've discussed, it has definitely opened up the doors for practice development. And I've been seeing significant change through this thing also. Now, when it comes to
Yeah.
your company, which is Lawfinity, you've spoken about basically transforming your client's journey. I think through LinkedIn, when we search, you use the word lighthouse. So
Like,
how do you think? Yes. So how do you think, if you can elaborate a little more on how, for your client and anybody who's listening, that, how would you, as coming from, like you said, we have infinite solutions. So
hey,
what would be these infinite solutions that you would like to offer to the clients, and what is it that you would be bringing to the table for them?
yes. So, okay. So by lighthouses, of course, literally what is meant is that I stand there, I shine, and everyone who wants to be rescued swims to me, or who wants to be saved climbs atop me.
That's a
And
very
so
nice thing.
that was, yeah, and that is what
So,
the old school positioning and definition of lawyers was, right? I sit in my chamber. I am atop all of this infinite knowledge. I can give you the advice. I know the judge. I can argue it
yeah,
for you, knowing the judge. You
yeah,
come to me and trust me with the advice.
yeah,
Versus now, where the market is saturated, so people have infinite options to shop for
yeah,
advice before they actually confirm the mandate, which also gets very frustrating for a lot of lawyers who, do these endless meetings and then realize that people are just shopping on the basis of price undercutting, like who pays, who asks for lower fee and all of that. It's very disheartening. um, Also, I mean, they check for several legal tech options available instead of that advice. So they go and check in and they go and check written advice. There is infinite content saturation. They would read that first and all of that. In between all of this, how do you still act as a personality that they would rather overlook and kick away all of that and just come to you and listen to you? So now it is more about not just securing that knowledge, but doing all sorts of actions that add to your personality. As let's say this, they have the definitive answers. They still do, despite everything else that is out there. They still do have definitive answers. And when you ask for infinite solutions to do this, I mean, it could be as simple as instead of writing a boring, lengthy worded email or too short an email, just how you design your email. So, what are the colors and shapes and interactive buttons, etc., that you use on your email to show that which your email, which in a lot of cases can be the first impression with your potential client, to show that when you are walking in through our doors, you're walking into a very organized practice. Like our thoughts are organized, the way information stored here is organized, which is why your complex labyrinth of compliances and contracts, etc., we will not get confused at any point with, because we exactly know where what is, even if you don't know. It is that organized. Just see how our email is organized. I mean, that little bit of a detail. Just see from that email how detailed we are in terms of how we even think about the colors on it.
Yeah.
Just see from the interactive button on that email how much we think of your convenience. We are thinking
Yeah.
of your convenience without even knowing you that much, meaning how client first is our firm, where we value your relationship, where we put you. So, I mean, there are all of these tools, the way they are worded, colored, shaped, and sent out into the world, convey all of these brand messages. And that's where the infinity of that comes from. How you speak, if you're a moderator on a podcast with two of your highly targeted potential clients, maybe the
Yeah.
biggest private equity funds in India right now, and you get
Yeah.
the chance to be a moderator as the partner of a law firm,
Yeah.
and which means that you're interested in what they have to say on the podcast. But you
Of
don't even
course.
take a breath and just keep introducing yourself for 2 minutes. And when they introduce themselves, you don't even take a breath to acknowledge it in parts, but launch off into your questions,
Yeah.
which conveys inadvertently, and it might be a nervousness or something, which conveys inadvertently that is more important to you that you're on the platform with those two P's instead of you being interested in what they have to say,
They
and
have
you
to
think
say.
that what they have to say is valuable to the listener. So that's where another infinite solution comes in. When our clients have to go on a podcast or a news show, we are sitting with them the night before, and
Yeah.
just saying unmentionables, like just treating them. Being very
Yeah.
detailed with what they have to do and still their
Exactly.
body language and everything. It's all about the
Yeah.
detail.
Of course. So, Prachi, what I gauge from this is you go into the nitty gritties of things, right? And of course, we also, while, I was also researching for the podcast, we came across it. You have been recognized by the Forbes Power List 2023 list as well. So, what did that recognition, and congratulations on that, by the way, it's a great achievement, so to say,
Yes.
considering that, you've worked so much in a field which is so, not just, it's still on the horizon to grow, right? So what did that recognition actually meant for you and Lawfinity, and how did that impact your business and even your development as a business in the food, in the value chain, right? Where did you see that shift happening? Did that actually help? And what were your thoughts, especially once you were recognized for something like this?
Yeah, recognitions are always special.
Yeah.
For when that happened, first of all, it is one thing to always keep the confidence in your head that yes, I'm serving right, I'm trying to do
Yeah.
something, I'm going somewhere, I have the vision. But you cannot deny that when the external world does confirm it to you.
Yeah.
Of course, clients give you feedback every day, but when something like this happens, which can put there as a marker on your profile, and look at
Yeah.
that, and you take your confidence again that yes, we're doing something here, we're going on the right track, someone thinks so.
Yeah.
That definitely has, the biggest effect, apart from everything, apart from maybe the LinkedIn engagement that announcement gained,
Yeah.
or very kindly led me to a lot of conversations. The biggest effect is what is going on in your inner world. And
Yeah.
when I started in this, because again, like, I did not have second guessing my initiatives
Yeah.
as whether I even know how to do this. I hope I don't land my clients into not legal trouble, because we
Yeah.
were taking care of that PCI compliance a lot, but just am I wasting their money or something? I used to waste a lot
Yeah.
of time and just double checking each
Double
thing from
checking.
every direction instead of moving forward with it. And Forbes, of course, happened later. I think the first such trophies were the first set of clients who actually told me that I trust you. You're the expert in
Yeah.
this. They used to say those words to me. That
Yeah.
yeah, I have something like this in my mind. Prachi, what do you think? Should we do this? Because it's in
Yeah.
my mind, but you're the expert. And so
Yeah.
hearing those words from them again, like, I was like, oh yeah, yes, really, I am the expert. And that gives you the
Yeah.
responsibility to then act up,
Yeah.
show up, and behave like the expert. Like, read up, upskill
Yeah.
yourself, talk to
True.
more people, get bigger problems. It's a reverse manifestation. It's a two-way
Of
street.
course. Of course.
So yeah, I mean, Forbes magnified that to an extent. For the Asia Law Portal, all of these things. Uh, Now I feel like I gain most of my valid. I mean, of course, all of these awards are very, very humbly welcome whenever and if ever they happen. But I feel like just those daily. There was a client in March who had never done organized PD, for instance, before, and wanted to schedule his first international PD trip. And he informed us 2 weeks before the trip, and he wanted to get enough meetings. And so there was this challenge of making his trip worthwhile, just so that he doesn't waste money and returns with enough meetings at least, if not enough conversions. And we worked day and night. The team also supported me and everything, and we got that minimum number. Like, we were scared at a time, will this happen or not? Because that week was also the time when two festivals were there on Monday and Friday, and a lot of people had returned to India from that jurisdiction. This guy had never been in that jurisdiction before. All of these were coming in our way, but we did that. And so that felt even bigger than that previous recognition.
Yeah.
So because this terrain again is so wild and
Why?
unpredictable,
No.
when things happen, when these milestones happen, that just keeps you moving forward.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And it seems very I mean, I don't know how to put it, but seems very exciting also to be there and something you're doing, you love what you're doing, and it's putting your passion into it. So, Prachi, to even ask you, how is it that you're looking to grow Lawfinity now? What is your vision like for Lawfinity in the coming years? And what are the kind of changes or that you hope to see even in the legal sector,
Yes.
with Lawfinity being a very integral part of it growing? So what are your visions for the future, so to say, for the legal sector as well as for Lawfinity fitting into that value chain?
So for the legal sector, from a legal practice development perspective, I think this discipline has validated
Yeah,
itself. It has stayed long
yeah,
enough, and there are enough adopters. So the discipline has validated itself. It has moved past the beta stage or whatever, and it is
yeah,
there to stay and scale, and then eventually die its natural death and become something
yeah,
else.
yeah.
But the next, I don't know, at least 20, 30 years, it will go many transformations, and it will be here. It will be widely adopted. Now, within that, where is Lawfinity? I'd say right now we are still in the development phase of the business, although we've been here 5 years, but we haven't scaled. Why we
Yeah.
haven't scaled? Because, see, we as a marketing firm instead of a law firm are not exactly legally barred from running ad campaigns and doing a lot of other things which our clients are barred from, to basically just
Yeah.
get clients very, very quickly, land
Yeah.
leads in my lap even while I sleep and all of that. But I didn't want to do that because as a consultant, I mean, you have to feel the pain of the people you are serving. And I
Yeah.
wanted to reach the minimum revenue target that I had in mind, which we
Yeah.
eventually have now,
Yeah.
without, those measures that our clients are not allowed. So that we
Yeah.
exactly know their pain and exactly, can innovate more on the solutions and fulfillment that keep that going. So we
Yeah.
did that. Now, yes, we're looking at a little bit of scaling, but again, not with the force of ads. We are still, we haven't yet completely explored the avenue of organic visibility for ourselves, how we do for our, uh, for the clients who have our, like say the most meaty retailers. For the clients who really want to go fulfill with us, we give them a lot of organic visibility initiatives, do it for them, get results. We haven't applied all of that fully to ourselves. And we want to launch into the next scale of that before actually launching into inorganic and everything, and see how that scales. Uh, but yes, I'd say we are, when you start a company, you have to be in the journey for at least 10 or 20 years, and we
Yeah.
are in the journey for that minimum period.
Great, great. And we're very excited to see Lawfinity take off and move forward with this practice. Last question I'd like to ask you is, Prachi, any thoughts that you have for young entrepreneurs entering into this field, or any individual who wants to enter the field of practice development? Do you have any parting thoughts for them, or some advice for them?
Yes, patience and vision for sure. That
Yeah.
is what I've observed as the differentiator in the team members that have worked. well for
Yeah.
Lawfinity, and in turn, Lawfinity has worked well for them, versus
Yeah.
those who didn't, sustain their journey despite their interest and passion.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
that you need to have patience in your growth, and which is very different from saying that you're just sitting there stuck and you're not really concerned about when you'll grow. That is different. That is not patience. That's the lack of a vision. But also, just being very impatient as to when will I earn more, when will
On
these
my.
this or that results, when will recognition come in.
Yeah.
That is an impatience that also indicates a lack of vision. People
Of
who
course.
have vision have a stage by stage strategy, just how practice development does.
Yeah.
And then that also actually has worked for the clients who have been successful versus the clients who were like, oh, do you think
Yeah.
this will work? It has never worked for me. Do you think that? Do you think that? That's all a lack of vision and some limiting beliefs
Of course.
that
Yeah.
will then never, make the best of marketing work for you. So anyone who's
Okay.
taking these services and anyone who's trying to give these services as a first
Fair.
timer, please,
Yeah.
please work with a vision and have the
Yeah.
patience to stand by your vision and travel up the stages that you have designed in
Understood.
it. You're lucky if you
Understood.
find a mentor who also collaborates on your vision, who tells you that, okay,
Yeah.
that ladder that you have designed, maybe that rung is not entirely accurate. Change it with
Yeah.
this, and then depending on the mutual trust you have, you change it. Not everyone is lucky to have a good mentor. I don't know. For me, you should ask my team. For myself, my first boss was the best mentor in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I collaborated with him and was able to design a vision.
Yeah.
But that is my biggest advice: stick by a vision.
Great. Great. So, Prachi, I think I've learned so much from you and this podcast, and thank you so much for being here with us. It has been lovely interacting with you and learning from your
Likewise.
experiences. And, we look forward and we wish all the luck to Lawfinity. We look forward to, you being recognized and Lawfinity and your team being recognized at this year's Forbes also. So, hopefully,
Thank
fingers
you.
crossed. Fingers crossed. And thank you so much for taking out the time for us. It was lovely speaking to you, Prachi. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks again. Thanks for having me. And I wish Legal Pay all of the success and this initiative
Thank you.
to get, I think, endless number of startup stories, because we all love to hear them.
Thank you so much, Prachi. Thank you.